The hydraulic whine of the bomb bay doors closing echoes through the belly of the aircraft like the grinding teeth of some mechanical beast. March 1945. Tinian Island. The sun hasn't yet broken the horizon, but the air already tastes of salt and aviation fuel. Captain James "Jimmy" Korshak stands beside his B-29 Superfortress, tail number 44 to 69,972, nicknamed Wandering Star, and watches his ground crew make their final checks. He's 24 years old. Feels 40. The mission brief was simple on paper, a daylight precision strike against the Nakajima aircraft plant outside Tokyo. 12 B-29s. High altitude. 28,000 feet. Drop ordnance. Come home. But nothing about flying 7 hours over open ocean to drop bombs on an empire that wants you dead is ever simple. Captain. The voice belongs to Lieutenant Rei Nakamura, the navigator. Second-generation Japanese-American from Sacramento. The irony isn't lost on anyone. Nakamura's family sits in an internment camp in California while he plots courses to bomb his ancestral homeland. He carries it in his eyes. Dark. Quiet. Precise. Yeah, Ray. Weather's shifting. Jet stream's gonna be hell coming back. Tailwinds going in, headwinds coming out. Korshak nods. He trusts Nakamura more than he trusts the brass. More than he trusts the instruments. The man can read wind patterns like scripture. The rest of the crew assembles near the nose wheel. 11 men total. Co-pilot Mike Henderson, tall, red-haired, never stops chewing gum. Flight engineer Steve Kowalski, hands permanently stained with grease. Bombardier Eddie Grant, eyes like a hawk, steady as stone. Radio operator Tommy Reeves, barely 19, still writes his mother every day. Radar operator Frank Delgado, quiet, calculating. 6 gunners scattered throughout the airframe, tail, top, belly, sides. Each one a specialist. Each one expendable. Listen up. Korshak's voice cuts through the pre-dawn darkness. This is a daylight run. No moon to hide under. No clouds forecast until we hit the coast. That means fighters. That means flak. That means we fly tight, we fly smart, and we fly home. No one speaks. They've heard this speech before. 12 missions. Some crews don't make it past 5. The engines cough to life one by one. Right R, 3350 duplex Cyclones, 18 cylinders each, 2,200 horsepower per engine. 4 of them. The noise is biblical. The B-29 shudders, rattles, comes alive beneath him. Korshak climbs through the forward hatch, squeezes past the bombardier station, settles into the left seat. Henderson's already strapped in. Ready to dance, Captain? Born ready. The tower clears them. Korshak advances the throttles. 140,000 pounds of aluminum, fuel, bombs, and men begins rolling down the coral runway. Faster. Faster. The nose lifts. The gear leaves the earth. The Pacific stretches before them, endless, indifferent, dark. Behind them, 11 more B-29s follow into the sky. But something is wrong. Korshak feels it first in his hands, a subtle vibration through the yoke that wasn't there yesterday. Henderson notices too. You feel that? Yeah. Kowalski leans forward from his engineer's station. Number 3 engine running hot. Oil pressures climbing. How much? 85 and rising. Normal is 70. 85 is manageable. 90 is dangerous. They're 30 minutes from Tinian and already bleeding into the margins. Korshak makes the call. We hold course. Watch it close. Nakamura's voice crackles through the intercom from his station behind the cockpit. Captain, we're at 8,000 feet. Climbing to 28. ETA to Japanese coast, 6 hours, 12 minutes. 6 hours. 370 miles. Open water. No landmarks. No emergency fields. Just wind and waves and the hope that American engineering holds together long enough to deliver death and return intact. The formation tightens. 12 silver bombers catching the first rays of sunrise. From a distance they look invincible, gleaming, powerful, untouchable. Up close, they're barely held together. Rivets. Welds. Prayers. Reeves, the radio operator, tunes frequencies, searching for chatter. Delgado watches the radar scope, still empty. The gunners test their turrets, swiveling, tracking invisible enemies. The sound of charging .50 caliber machine guns reverberates through the fuselage. Korshak checks his instruments. Airspeed, 230 knots. Altitude, 14,000 feet. Fuel, full. Compass heading, 315 degrees northwest. Artificial horizon. Level. Everything reads normal. But that vibration. That heat. Oil pressures 92, Kowalski reports. Still climbing. Henderson glances at Korshak. We turning back? The question hangs in the cockpit. Turning back means scrubbing the mission. Means the other crews continue without them. Means facing the group commander and explaining why Wandering Star came home with a full bomb load. Negative, Korshak says. We hold. The sun climbs higher. The ocean below turns from black to deep blue. The engines roar. The bomber climbs. And somewhere ahead, beyond the curve of the earth, an empire waits. 23,000 feet. The air is thin and cold. Korshak can see his breath inside the cockpit despite the leather jacket, despite the heated flight suit. Outside, the temperature is 40 below zero. The Pacific scrolls beneath them, a vast rumpled sheet of gray-blue nothing. Nakamura's voice. Captain, we're 2 hours out from landfall. Formations holding tight. Korshak keys his mic. Copy. How's our fuel? Right on the curve. We're good. They've been flying for 4 hours. The monotony is dangerous. It breeds complacency. Gunners scan empty skies. Reeves monitors silent frequencies. Delgado watches a radar screen that shows only ocean. This is the part of the mission where men fall asleep, where focus drifts, where mistakes happen. Oil pressures holding at 95, Kowalski reports. Not climbing. Not dropping. Good. Keep watching it. Then Henderson speaks, and there's something in his voice. Jimmy, look at your airspeed. Korshak's eyes drop to the instrument panel. The airspeed indicator reads 230 knots. Same as it's read for the past hour. He hasn't touched the throttles. Yeah, what about it? We should be seeing tailwinds by now. Ray said we'd pick up 30, maybe 40 knots. But we're still showing 230. Ground speed should be way higher. Korshak frowns. He glances at the other instruments. Altimeter, 23,000 feet. Compass, 315 degrees. Artificial horizon. Wings level. Everything normal. But Henderson's right. The winds aloft forecast called for strong tailwinds at altitude, jet stream push that would shave time off the flight and save fuel. They should be making 270 knots over the ground, maybe more. Ray, Korshak calls. Check our ground speed. Silence for a moment. Then, stand by, Captain. Something's. Give me a second. Nakamura hunches over his navigation table, a small workspace crammed with charts, a compass, a sextant, a drift meter. He's been shooting sun lines every 30 minutes, cross-referencing them with dead reckoning calculations, airspeed, heading, time, wind drift. It's math. Pure math. Numbers don't lie. Except now they do. Captain, I'm getting a ground speed of 195 knots. Korshak's stomach tightens. Say again. 195. We're not moving as fast as we should. The winds aren't there. Henderson leans forward. Or the airspeed indicator's wrong. Or the compass is off. Or the altimeter. The instruments. All of them connected, all of them interdependent. Pitot tubes feeding air pressure data. Gyroscopes spinning inside the artificial horizon and directional gyro. Magnetic compasses. Altimeters reading static pressure. If one fails, you compensate. If two fail, you worry. But all of them? Check your backup instruments, Korshak orders. Henderson scans the co-pilot's panel. Mine match yours. 230 knots. 23,000 feet. Heading 315. Kowalski speaks from behind them. Fuel flow rates are higher than they should be. How much higher? Enough to matter. If this holds, we're gonna be tight on the return leg. Korshak's mind races. They're over open ocean. No visual references. No landmarks. Just water and sky. Navigation depends entirely on instruments and math. If the instruments are lying. Nakamura's voice cuts through. Captain, I just shot another sunline. Our position doesn't match what the instruments say. We're 30 miles south of where we should be. 30 miles. Affirmative. Either we've been drifting south, or the compass has been feeding us bad headings. Henderson curses under his breath. This is bad, Jimmy. This is really bad. The intercom crackles. It's Grant, the bombardier, down in the nose. Captain, I can see the formation. They're drifting north relative to us. We're losing position. Korshak keys the mic. All crew, this is the captain. We're experiencing instrument anomalies. Stay sharp. Ray, give me options. Nakamura doesn't hesitate. We navigate by celestial. I shoot sunlines every 15 minutes. Plot course corrections manually. It's slower, but it's reliable. What about at night? Coming back. Stars. Moon if we have it. Dead reckoning. And prayer. Korshak's hands tighten on the yoke. Dead reckoning, the oldest form of navigation. Estimate your speed, track your heading, calculate time and distance. Guesswork dressed up as science. Do it, he says. Henderson glances at him. Jimmy, we can turn back. We've got enough fuel to. We're not turning back. If we lose the formation, if we can't find Tinian on the return. We'll find it. Silence. The engines roar. The bomber flies on. Then it gets worse. Kowalski's voice, tight. Manifold pressure on number 3 just spiked. We're losing power. Korshak scans the gauges. Number 3 engine, right inboard, shows red. RPM dropping. Temperature climbing. Pull it back, Korshak orders. Reduce power. Keep it running if you can. Henderson adjusts the throttle. The engine coughs, sputters, steadies. It's holding. Barely. Fuel consumption's gonna spike, Kowalski warns. We're burning more on the other 3 to compensate. Nakamura, Captain, if we lose that engine over the target, we won't have enough fuel to make it home. Korshak knows. He knows the math. B-29 can fly on 3 engines. Can even limp on 2. But range suffers. Speed suffers. And over 7 hours of ocean, suffering means dying. We hold course, Korshak repeats. Reeves breaks in from the radio station. Captain, I'm picking up chatter from the formation. Lead ships calling for us. They're asking our status. Tell them we're experiencing mechanical issues. We're staying in formation. Copy. The bomber shudders. A gust of wind, maybe. or metal fatigue, or the universe reminding them how fragile they are. Henderson chews his gum faster. Japanese coast in 90 minutes. Yeah. They're gonna be waiting. Yeah. Korshak looks out at the formation. 11 other B-29s strung across the sky like silver beads. They don't know. They can't know. That wandering star is flying half-blind, instruments failing, engine crippled, crew navigating by sunlight and math. And ahead, Tokyo. Fighters. Flak. Fire. The Pacific keeps scrolling below. Indifferent. Endless. Hungry. The Japanese coast materializes out of the haze like a dark wound across the horizon. Korshak sees it first. Low mountains, terraced hillsides, the jagged outline of Honshu Island. 5 hours and 40 minutes from Tinian. They're behind schedule. Nakamura's celestial navigation has kept them on course, but the crippled engine and instrument errors have cost them time. Landfall, Henderson announces. There she is. Grant's voice from the bombardier station. I have visual on the formation. We're 200 yards back. Still in position. Copy. All gunners, eyes open. Fighters inbound any minute. The response is immediate. 6 voices confirming. Tail gunner, top turret, belly turret, 2 side blisters, nose guns. Every .50 cal barrel swiveling, searching the sky. Nakamura keys in. Captain, I'm getting new readings. Winds have shifted. We're facing 40-knot headwinds at altitude. What's that do to our fuel? Silence. Then, we'll be in the red coming home. Korshak doesn't respond. There's nothing to say. They're committed now. The only way out is through. The flak starts at 20 miles from Tokyo. Black puffs of smoke appearing in the sky like dark flowers blooming at 25,000 feet. The Japanese gunners are good. They've had years of practice. The explosions walk closer, probing, searching for the altitude and spacing. Whumph, whumph, whumph. The bomber shakes. Shrapnel pings against the fuselage. Flak! Someone yells unnecessarily. Korshak holds the yoke steady. The formation tightens. 12 B-29s pushing through the curtain of fire. Below, Tokyo sprawls, gray and brown and smoking. Previous raids have already scarred the city. Now they're here to add to the destruction. IP in 2 minutes, Grant calls. Initial point, the navigation waypoint where the bomb run begins. From here, it's straight and level. No evasive maneuvers. The bombardier takes control. The pilot becomes a passenger. Copy. She's yours, Eddie. Roger. Autopilot engaged. Bomb bay doors coming open. The hydraulic whine again. The doors fold down, exposing the bay to 30 below zero air. 16 500-pound general-purpose bombs hang in their racks, fused and ready. That's when the instruments die. All of them. At once. Korshak watches in disbelief as every gauge on the panel goes dead. Airspeed indicator, 0. Altimeter, 0. Artificial horizon, tumbling, spinning, useless. Compass, spinning freely. Engine instruments, blank. Fuel gauges, dark. What the hell? Henderson breathes. Kowalski's voice, panicked. We just lost all electrical. Generators are offline. Batteries dead. Everything's dark. Korshak's mind races. Total electrical failure. That means no instruments. No autopilot. No bomb release. No radios. No radar. No. Captain. Grant shouts. Autopilot dropped offline. I can't hold the bomb run. Korshak grabs the yoke. The bomber lurches. He can feel it now, flying blind by instinct. No horizon reference. No airspeed. Nothing. Manual release. Korshak orders. Eddie, eyeball it. We're still on course. How do you know? I can see the other bombers. Match their position. Drop when they drop. Nakamura's voice, steady despite everything. Formations dropping in 30 seconds. The flak intensifies. A burst explodes 20 feet off the right wing. The bomber rocks. Korshak fights the yoke, trying to hold level flight with no instruments. It's like flying drunk, every sense screaming conflicting information. His inner ear says they're banking left. His eyes say they're level. His hands say the nose is dropping. Steady. Grant mutters from below. Steady, bombs away. The mechanical salvo kicks 16 times. Thunk, 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 and 5 tons of high explosive fall away. The bomber lurches upward, suddenly lighter. Bombs clear. Close the doors. Doors are manual. Kowalski shouts back. Hydraulics are electric. I can't close them. Korshak curses. Open bomb bay doors mean massive drag. They'll never make it home like this. Henderson's already moving. I'll crank them closed by hand. Do it fast. But the Japanese aren't done. Fighters. 10 o'clock high. Korshak's head snaps left. 3 Nakajima Ki, 84 Hay-8 fighters, sleek, deadly, diving out of the sun. The top turret gunner opens up, twin .50 calories hammering. Tracers arc across the sky. The fighters split, 2 high, 1 low. The formation scatters slightly, each bomber taking evasive action. But Wandering Star has no airspeed indicator. No artificial horizon. Korshak's flying by feel, by instinct, by watching the other bombers and praying he doesn't stall or dive. Rat-a-tat-a-tat-tat. The Ki-84 screams past, cannons blazing. Holes punch through the left wing. The tail gunner fires, tracking, missing. The fighter climbs, rolls, comes back around. He's making another pass. Korshak throws the yoke forward. The bomber dives. His stomach lifts. No altimeter. He has no idea how fast they're falling or how much altitude they're losing. Pull up, pull up, pull up, Henderson yells. Korshak hauls back on the yoke. The nose rises. The bomber shudders, on the edge of a stall. He eases forward again, finding the balance point. The fighter overshoots, frustrated. He's breaking off. But the damage is done. Kowalski's voice comes through, grim. We've got fuel leaking from the left wing tank. I can see it streaming out. How much? A lot. Nakamura breaks in. Captain, we need a heading. I can't navigate without a compass. Korshak looks out the window. The formation is ahead and above, already turning southeast toward home. He can see them, barely, tiny silver crosses against the smoke-filled sky. We follow them visually. Stay on their tail. And if we lose them? We don't lose them. Henderson finishes cranking the bomb bay doors shut and collapses back into the co-pilot seat, drenched in sweat. Doors closed. Jimmy, we're blind up here. No instruments. No radios. Fuel leak. Crippled engine. How the hell are we getting home? Korshak's jaw sets. Same way humans have been navigating for 5,000 years. We look at the sun. We watch the stars. We use our heads. And if clouds roll in? Then we guess. The flak fades as they clear Tokyo's airspace. The formation climbs, heading out over the Pacific. Korshak matches them, still flying by sight, by feel. Number 3 engine is barely running now, sputtering, coughing, overheating. The fuel leak continues, a silver ribbon streaming from the wing. Nakamura spreads his charts across the navigation table. No radar. No radio compass. No Lauren. Just paper, pencil, sextant, and wristwatch. Captain, he says quietly, based on our time over target and the formation's heading, I estimate we're on a southeast course, roughly 135 degrees. If we hold that heading, compensate for winds, and maintain airspeed around 200 knots, we should intercept Tinian in approximately 6 hours. Should. Within a margin of error of plus or minus 50 miles. Henderson laughs. High. Brittle. 50 miles. In the middle of the Pacific. At night. With no instruments. You got a better plan? Korshak snaps. No answer. The sun climbs toward its apex. The sky is clear. The ocean below is endless. And Wandering Star flies on, crippled, bleeding fuel, navigating by eyesight and prayer. 3 hours past Tokyo. The sun is falling toward the western horizon, painting the clouds in shades of copper and blood. Korshak's arms ache from fighting the yoke. Without an artificial horizon, every gust of wind, every shift in air pressure sends the bomber wandering off course. He corrects constantly, watching the angle of the wings against the distant skyline, feeling the subtle pull of gravity in his gut. The formation is a mile ahead now. Wandering Star is falling behind. The crippled engine and open bomb bay doors, Henderson couldn't close them completely. They're jammed, create drag that the 3 good engines can't overcome. One by one, the other B-29s pull away, silver specks shrinking against the darkening sky. We're losing them, Henderson says quietly. Korshak knows. Ray, how's our position? Nakamura is hunched over his table, sextant pressed to his eye, shooting angles on the setting sun. He scribbles numbers, cross-checks charts, measures distances with dividers. If my math is right, we're 300 miles northeast of Tinian. Roughly. Give or take 50 miles. Fuel. Kowalski's voice is flat. We're running on fumes, Captain. The leak's been constant for 3 hours. Number 3's shut down completely. Seized. We're on 3 engines. At current consumption, we've got maybe 90 minutes of flight time. 2 hours if we're lucky and God loves us. 90 minutes. Maybe less. And they're still 300 miles from home. The math is brutal. At 200 knots, 90 minutes gives them 180 nautical miles. They'll run dry 100 miles from Tinian. Over open ocean. At night. Options, Korshak says. Nakamura doesn't pause. We descend to 10,000 feet. Lower altitude means denser air, better engine efficiency, lower fuel consumption. We might stretch another 30 minutes. That gets us 50 miles closer. Still not enough. No, sir. But it's something. Henderson speaks up. We could try to raise someone on the emergency radio. If the batteries... The battery's dead, Kowalski interrupts. Completely drained. We've got nothing. Silence fills the cockpit. The only sounds are the roar of 3 laboring engines and the whistle of wind through shrapnel holes. Reeves, the young radio operator, breaks in. His voice is shaky. Captain, are we gonna make it? Korshak takes a breath. Honesty. These men deserve honesty. I don't know, Tommy. But we're gonna try like hell. The sun touches the horizon. Nakamura shoots one last sun line, frantic, knowing that once it sets, he'll be navigating by stars. Slower, more complex, less accurate. He plots the line on his chart, measures, calculates. Captain, new heading. Come left to 125 degrees. That's our direct line to Tinian. How do I hold 125 with no compass? The sun setting at 270 degrees west. Keep it 45 degrees off your left shoulder. When it's gone, I'll give you star bearings. Korshak banks left, gently, watching the sun's position. 45 degrees. He holds it. The bomber settles onto the new heading, descending to 10,000 feet. He pushes the yoke forward. The nose drops. The altimeter is dead, so he watches the horizon, feels the pressure change in his ears. Down, down, down. The air grows thicker, warmer. The engines ease slightly. Level at 10,000, he announces, though he's guessing. Could be 9. Could be 11. No way to know. Darkness falls fast over the Pacific. Within 30 minutes, the sun is gone, and the stars emerge, bright, cold, infinite. Nakamura is ready. He's been preparing for this. Captain, see Polaris? The North Star? Directly off our left wing. Korshak scans the sky. There, unwavering, bright. Got it. Keep it there. That's north. We're heading southeast, so it should stay on our left side. If it drifts forward, we're turning too far east. If it drifts back, we're going too far south. Copy. It's absurd. They're flying a 60-ton bomber across the Pacific Ocean using the same navigation techniques Polynesian sailors used 1,000 years ago. But it's all they have. The minutes crawl. Kowalski watches the fuel gauges. Not that they work, but he's been mentally calculating burn rates. 60 minutes of fuel, he reports. Maybe less. 60 minutes. They're still at least 100 miles out. Henderson leans over, voice low. Jimmy, we need to talk about ditching. Ditching. Controlled crash into the ocean. Survival rate, low. The Pacific is cold, dark, and full of sharks. Even if they survive the impact, even if the life rafts deploy, they're hundreds of miles from the nearest rescue ship. Not yet, Korshak says. Jimmy. Not yet. Nakamura shoots star sights, Vega, Altair, Deneb, plotting lines of position on his chart. The calculations take time. 10 minutes per sight. His hands are shaking, but his math is flawless. Captain, based on my last fix, we're 120 miles from Tinian. Bearing 125 degrees. 120 miles. 60 minutes of fuel. It's impossible. Unless... Ray, what if we shut down one more engine? Save fuel. We'd lose airspeed. Lose altitude. But yeah, we'd stretch the fuel. Henderson shakes his head. On 2 engines we'll be falling out of the sky. Controlled descent, Korshak counters. We glide as much as we fly. Trade altitude for distance. Kowalski jumps in. Captain, if we shut down number 4, we'd be on 2 engines, both on the left wing. Asymmetric thrust. You'll be fighting the yoke the whole way. I've been fighting it for 8 hours already. Silence. Do it, Korshak orders. Shut down. Number 4. Feather the prop. Henderson reaches for the controls, hesitates, then pulls the mixture to idle cutoff. The number 4 engine coughs, sputters, dies. The prop blades rotate into the wind, feathering, minimizing drag. The bomber lurches to the right. Korshak pushes hard left rudder, compensates with aileron. His leg burns. His arms scream. But the bomber holds. We're flying on 2, Henderson whispers. Sweet Jesus. The airspeed bleeds off. 200 knots. 190. 180. The nose drops. Korshak lets it, trading altitude for airspeed, gliding down through the darkness. Altitude 8,000 feet, Nakamura estimates, watching the stars angle. Descending. The fuel gauges are buried in the red now, below empty. They're running on vapor. On luck. 30 minutes of fuel, Kowalski says. Maybe. 30 minutes. 90 miles to go. The crew is silent. Each man lost in his own thoughts. Reeves quietly recites a prayer. Delgado stares at his blank radar screen. The gunners peer into the night, seeing nothing. And then, light! Grant shouts from the bombardier's station. 12 o'clock. I see a light. Korshak's head snaps forward. There, barely visible, a tiny pinprick of white light against the black ocean. That's Tinian. Nakamura yells. That's the runway beacon. How far? 20 miles. Maybe less. 20 miles. 10 minutes at current speed. And they have, maybe, 15 minutes of fuel. We're gonna make it, Henderson breathes. But the engines don't agree. Number 2 coughs. Sputters. The fuel pressure gauge, inoperative, but Korshak feels it, drops to nothing. We're dry. Kowalski shouts. Tanks are empty. Number 2 engine dies. Then number 1. Both engines, both left wing, gone. The propellers windmill uselessly. The bomber is silent except for the rush of wind. They're gliding. No power. No engines. Just momentum and gravity and prayer. How far? Korshak's voice is ice. 10 miles. Korshak pushes the nose down, trading altitude for speed. They're at 4,000 feet. 3,000. 2,000. The runway beacon grows brighter. He can see the island now. Dark against darker, the runway lights like a string of pearls. Gear down. Henderson yells. Gear is hydraulic. Manual release. Henderson yanks the emergency gear release. The landing gear falls free, locks into place with a thud. Drag increases. The glide steepens. We're not gonna make the runway. Nakamura shouts. Yes, we are. 1,000 feet. The ocean is below them now, invisible in the darkness. The runway is ahead, so close. 500 feet. Korshak pulls back on the yoke, flaring, trying to stretch the glide. The bomber shudders, on the edge of a stall. The runway lights rush up. The bomber crosses the threshold at 90 knots, barely flying, barely controlled. The main gear touches. Hard. The bomber bounces, slams down again. Korshak stands on the brakes. Manual brakes, no hydraulics. The tail wheel drops. They're rolling, slowing, the end of the runway approaching fast. They stop with 50 feet to spare. For 10 seconds, no one moves. No one speaks. Then Henderson starts laughing. Hysterical, relieved, exhausted. The laughter spreads. Reeves. Delgado. The gunners. Even Korshak cracks a smile. We made it, Henderson gasps. We actually made it. Korshak looks at Nakamura. The navigator is slumped over his table, sextant still in hand, charts covered in pencil marks and calculations. Hell of a navigation job, Ray. Nakamura doesn't look up. Just math, Captain. Just math. The ground crews are running toward them, flashlights bobbing. The crew chief climbs up, peers into the cockpit, sees the dead instruments, the shrapnel holes, the exhausted faces. Jesus Christ, Captain. What happened up there? Korshak unbuckles his harness, stands on shaking legs. We flew to Tokyo. We dropped our bombs. We came home. On dead instruments? On dead instruments. The crew chief shakes his head. That's impossible. Korshak climbs out into the warm Tinian night. The stars are still there. Polaris, Vega, Altair, Deneb. The same stars that guided them home. No, he says quietly. It's not impossible. It's just flying.